Hello, welcome to this Price a Job tutorial. In this video, we'll be taking a look at how to estimate by rooms or location. By default, when you add various modules to your estimate, they're organized in the categories here in the left sidebar. For example, substructure, structure, services, and finishes. However, when you have multiple modules added to the same category, it's not immediately clear which module applies to which room or location. This is easily solved by going to the bottom of the left sidebar and toggling the View by Rooms checkbox here. And all of our modules are automatically assigned to the various locations. In this example, the kitchen, toilet, master bedroom, full bathroom, parking, and sunroom. But these aren't assigned by magic. It does take a bit of setting up first. So let's take a look at the steps involved to convert your estimate from appearing like this to this. To start, we'll create a new project. We'll go up to the project menu here and select the drop-down and add a new project. We'll call this one View by Rooms and save. And this creates a new blank project for us. Let's populate this project with some modules. We'll go to the module toolbar here and select some interior finishes. Let's select some flooring. Let's add some tile. And before we create this module, just take a moment to notice that by default, each new module is assigned to a general location. And these flooring modules are assigned to the finishes category. We'll leave these alone for now and just create the module. And let's add another one. Go back to interior finishes, flooring, and tile. And create. And let's do one more. We'll go interior finishes, flooring, and tile. And create. And now let's do some more. We'll do interior finishes, flooring, and this time we'll add some laminate. And create. Go back to interior finishes, flooring, and laminate, and create. And actually we'll do one more. Let's go back to interior finishes, and this time we'll select some painting. And create. Okay, so there's some blank modules for us to start filling in. And you'll notice that all these have been added to the same category called finishes. If we hover over the category title, we see a pencil icon here that allows us to edit the title of this category if we want to. But we won't do that now. Instead, what we'll do is we'll assign each of these modules to a room. But currently, if we select the View by Rooms checkbox, all of these modules are assigned to the general location category. And that's what we noticed when we created each of the modules. Because so far, Price a Job doesn't have the information it needs to assign these to room locations. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even know what rooms we have to work with. So to start setting this up, we select the Rooms tab here, at the top of the left-hand sidebar. And then from here, we can start adding floors. So if we click the plus add floor button here, it adds a first floor, and click again to add a second floor. But despite these titles, you shouldn't feel restricted to only adding levels of a building. You can use the add floor button to add a floor, and then rather than assigning this to a floor, assign it to an outbuilding. So let's highlight the title of this one, and let's say, for example, we'll assign this to an external garage. We could also click the add floor button to assign this to any other location. Let's set this one for a new extension. And you can add as many new locations as you like. For example, this one might be a backyard shed. So just because the button says add floors, you shouldn't feel restricted. You can use the add floors button to add any locations for your rooms. And now that we've given Price a Job a basic structure of our site, it's time to start adding the actual rooms themselves by clicking the add rooms button for each floor. So for the first floor, we might have a living room, a dining room, a kitchen, a toilet, and a main hall. And then we can go here to the location titles for each and start retitling each of our rooms. So this would be the living room. And then this one would be our dining room. And then here we could have the kitchen. And then the toilet. And the hall. And then we can do the same thing for our second floor. We could add a couple of rooms here. We could have a master bedroom and two other bedrooms as well. And an upstairs bath. And then we'll rename the location titles for these. So we have the master bedroom. And then we have bedroom 2. And then bedroom 3. And then the full bath. And then for the garage, we'll have a couple of rooms. We'll have one area for parking and another for storage. So we'll retitle these location titles. This one will be called parking. And this one will be called storage. And then for our extension, we'll add a room here, and we'll just call this title the sunroom. And then for the backyard shed, we'll add one room here, and we'll call this outdoor storage. So there, now for our property, we have all of our locations labeled, being floor 1, floor 2, external garage, new extension, and backyard shed, as well as all the rooms for each. So now we have to start inputting our various measurements for the floor area, ceiling area, perimeter, height, and walls area. So let's start with the main floor living room. Let's say this room is 12 by 15 feet, so the floor area for that would be 180 square feet, and the ceiling area would be the same. And the perimeter of a room 12 by 15 would be 54 feet in length. And Price Job automatically assumes a standard height of 8 feet for residential rooms, but we can override that if we needed to. And based on those measurements, Price Job automatically calculates the walls area. Next, we'll do the dining room. We'll say the dining room is 12 by 12 feet. So that would be 144 feet square for the floor and the ceiling. And for the perimeter, that would be 48 linear feet with a standard height of 8 feet high. And Price Job calculates the walls area for us. And now inputting these numbers manually is fine if we already know our measurements and they're simple rectangular rooms. But what if we have an irregularly shaped room that's not a perfect square or rectangle? Well, to accommodate that, we have an Edit Rooms function here. So under the Edit Room column, we can click the Edit icon here and select Room Editor. And this opens a graphic room editor that will help us to build an irregular shape for our kitchen. And this isn't strictly only for irregular shapes. We can use this to build square or rectangular rooms, L-shaped rooms, or T-shaped rooms. By default, the editor automatically starts with a rectangular shaped room. That's about 10 by 16 feet. But we can adjust this manually by grabbing any wall and dragging it outwards. So say our kitchen was 8 by 12 feet. We can manually adjust that to 8 feet. And we can see our measurements across the top and bottom for the width. That gets us to 8 feet. And then we can reduce the sidewall to 12 feet. And we can see on the left and right sides the length of our wall. We'll reduce that down to 12 feet. And using our mouse scroll wheel, we can zoom in and click and drag to reposition our image anywhere we want on the sketch pane. And you can see as we've been making our modifications, Price Job has automatically been calculating the area, perimeter, and walls area of our room. But what about if this room was irregularly shaped? Well, in this case, we have a perfectly rectangular room, and that's easy to calculate. But if our room was L-shaped, we could select the basic shape either from the right-hand sidebar or from the toolbar at the top, and we're given the extra dimensions we need to measure our room. Or if there was a closet, we could select a T-shaped room, and then we could set the dimensions of our room as well as the closet. So let's just zoom in a little bit closer here so we can get a better look at all of our measurements. And click the scroll wheel to drag. And we'll say our main room is 15 by 15 square with a 5-foot closet. So let's reduce our length here down to 15 feet exactly. And here at the bottom we can see the measurements for the closet. So we'll go ahead and drag one of the walls of the closet out to extend that to exactly 5 feet. There we go. And then we can extend this wall out until it reaches exactly 5 feet. And then this wall until it reaches exactly 5 feet. And then we just have to adjust the depth of our closet. So we'll extend this closet back a bit until that reaches exactly 5 feet. And then we just have to adjust the front wall of the room here to make our room square. So we'll just drag this one down until it reaches exactly 15 feet. And I'm looking at the right-hand side measurement here. There we go. So I'll just scroll out and reposition. There. So now we have a square room that is 15 feet square with a 5-foot closet. And as we've made these adjustments, Price Job has updated our area, perimeter, and walls area. And if we want to place any windows or doors, we can do that by simply clicking here on the window and door icons. So let's add a door by clicking on that. And this converts our mouse into a door tool. So with this, we can just hover our mouse over the walls and the door tool automatically snaps to the wall. And then we can click on that wall to place our door. And then as we move our mouse around, it changes the swinging position of the door. So we can click a second time to set the swinging position of the door. And then if we want to place another door, we can do so by moving it around to the wall that needs the door. So we'll do the same thing on this side. Click one to place the door, and then click a second time to position the opening. And when we're done placing our doors, we can click the escape button to exit the door tool. And then likewise, to place any windows, we can click the Windows button here to add windows, and this converts our cursor into a Windows tool. So now we can go ahead and place windows on the wall, and the cursor will automatically snap to the position on the wall to place our windows. And then when we're done placing our windows, again, we can press the escape button to exit the Windows tool. And now we can hover our mouse over these windows to either reposition the windows on the wall by clicking them in the middle, or clicking the drag handles on the ends to extend the width of these windows. And this lets us position the windows precisely where we need them to be and adjust the size as needed. And notice as we've placed all these doors and windows, that Price Job has added a new category to our measurements here, including openings. So this is the area of openings that is deducted from our walls area. So here we have the walls area of 560 square feet, minus 66 square feet. These with 494 square feet of wall area. So now when we close our rooms editor, all those measurements are added to our rooms list here. We have a floor area of 250 square feet and a walls area of 494, including the windows and doors. And if we need to go back to refer to those calculations, we can just click on the Edit Rooms icon here to reopen our Rooms editor, and we can see all of our measurements and our door and window openings. Now we can continue filling in our measurements for the downstairs toilet. So that's probably a 5 by 8 foot room. So that would be 40 feet square for the floor area and the ceiling with a perimeter of 26 feet. And Price Job calculates the walls area. And for the hall, let's say that would be 5 by 20. So that would be 100 feet square for the floor and ceiling with a perimeter of 50 feet. And again, the walls area is calculated for us. And I'll just go ahead and fill in the rest of these values and skip ahead. And now all of our room measurements have been input, and now we can return back to our Calculations tab here in the left-hand sidebar. And now that Price Job knows the rooms that we'll be working on, we can create new modules and assign them to the proper rooms. So let's go back to our module toolbar, and we'll select Interior Finishes and Flooring and Tile. And this time, rather than choosing the general location, this time we'll select Kitchen and Create. And we see a new category has been added for our kitchen. And we'll go back to Interior Finishes and select Flooring and Tile. And this time, the general location instead, we will choose the main floor toilet and Create. And we see another new room has been added to our left-hand sidebar. And again, we can go back to Interior Finishes and Flooring and Tile. And for general location, this time we'll choose the upstairs bath and Create. And go back to Interior Finishes and Flooring, and we'll choose one of our laminate modules this time. And this time, instead of general location, we'll put this in the living room and Create. And go back up to our Interior Finishes and Flooring and Laminate. And this time we'll add this one to our master bedroom and Create. And back to Interior Finishes and some internal painting. And let's do this one in the extension sunroom and Create. And all of these modules have been separated into their various rooms. If we want to see them all grouped by category instead, we can deselect the view by rooms, and here we have them all categorized under the Finishes category. We can go back to view by rooms, and since we've duplicated these for each of their specific rooms instead of their general rooms, we can go ahead and click the More Options button here and just delete this group of modules because we haven't set them up yet anyways. And the interior painting, we'll delete that one as well and delete. And now the general location category has been removed from our calculations pane. So now to start filling out our modules. So let's start with the living room here. We'll select flooring in the living room. And if we already know the area of our flooring for the living room, we can just input that manually in the laminate stage here. But let's use the area calculator here instead. And down at the bottom, we can select the Rooms tab. And this opens up a window with all of our rooms measurements that we've already input. And if we want to, we can click on the number here, the 180, and that will copy this 180 to our clipboard. And then we could paste that into the area calculator here. But Price Job has a handy function with this little plus icon. What we can do is click that plus icon, and it adds that area to our area calculator. So we have a floor area here of 180 square feet. So let's save that, and that gets input into our area calculator, and Price Job automatically does a rough estimate based on certain assumptions for our laminate floor. And we can go ahead and tweak this as necessary by choosing our various materials, etc. But for now, we have a rough estimate as to what the laminate flooring is going to be for the living room. Next, let's do the kitchen. So we'll click on the kitchen module. This is the tile. So again, we'll go back to Area Calculator and go to the Rooms tab. And for the kitchen, we'll just click the plus icon to add that area to our floor area and save. And that generates a quick estimate. And then for the main floor toilet, we'll select that. Go to Area Calculator, go to the Rooms tab, click the plus icon. This is the main floor toilet. Click the plus icon to add that area to the Area Calculator and save. And then for the master bedroom, we can select that module. And again, go back to the Area Calculator, go to the Rooms tab. And for the second floor master bedroom, click the plus icon to add that to the Area Calculator and save. And then for the upstairs bath, this is the full bath. Click on that module, go to the Area Calculator, go to the Rooms tab, and for the second floor, the full bath, we can add that area to the Area Calculator and save. And then finally for the sunroom, we'll select the internal painting module here. And now for this, we might be doing some wall paint and maybe some ceiling paint. So let's select both of those. And for the wall paint, we'll select the Area Calculator and go to our Rooms tab and scroll down to our new extension for the sunroom. And for the walls, we have the wall area here. We can either click the number to copy that to our clipboard or click the plus button to add that to our Area Calculator here at the top. And then save. And then for the ceiling paint, we'll click the Area Calculator, go to the Rooms tab, go back to our sunroom, and you'll notice that we don't have a column here for ceiling area, but we know the ceiling area is equal to the floor area. So we'll just go ahead and click the plus icon to add that area to our Area Calculator here and save. And that basic calculation is done. And all of our modules are assigned to their various locations. So when the client is asking you what the cost is by room, you'll have a much clearer idea of the estimates by area. Now let's say we have a module already added to our estimate that we need to duplicate for a different location. That's easy to do. What we can do is click the three dots here to open the module options, and then select Duplicate. And that duplicates this module entirely. So let's change the location from this one, from the sunroom, to the outdoor shed. So to do that, we'll click the three dots again, and this time we'll Edit. And this opens the module properties, and here we can see that this one is assigned to the sunroom. So what we'll do is we'll click the drop down here and scroll down to our outdoor shed and select the outdoor storage and close this. And we can see that internal painting module has been duplicated and changed to the outdoor storage. But the calculation is based on the measurements of the sunroom. So let's go ahead and select this outdoor storage shed now and go into the Area Calculator here for the wall paint. We'll select that, and this is for the sunroom walls area. So let's just delete this measurement here from our calculator, go back to the Rooms tab, scroll down to our outdoor shed, find our walls area for the paint, and click the plus icon. Now we can scroll up. We can see that that's been added for the walls area of our outdoor storage and save. And then the same thing for the ceiling paint. We can go back to our Area Calculator and we can see that this is set for the sunroom area. We'll go ahead and delete that measurement. Go into our Rooms tab, scroll down to the outdoor storage, and again the ceiling area is not represented here, but we know the ceiling area is equal to the floor area, so we'll just go ahead and click plus on that to add that measurement to our Area Calculator and save. And now we can see that we've duplicated the sunroom module here, moved it to the outdoor storage, and updated the measurements and pricing for the same module. And if we toggle the View by Rooms checkbox here, we can see that all these modules are categorized under the Finishes category. But when we view by rooms, we can see that each is assigned to their different location. And if the client wants to know room by room what the costs are, it's much easier to tell them now. When we go to our Reports tab, we can take a look at our quote and see that the quote is arranged by room as well. And we can share this quote with our client, and if we enable subtotals, they can see the exact price breakdown for each of the various rooms, and then the grand total at the bottom. If we prefer to show this as general categories, we can uncheck the View by Rooms option here, and all these modules are included under the One Finishes category. So it's easy to see why the client might prefer to have the rooms specially itemized. This is particularly handy for subcontractors, as especially schools or hotels would be interested to see the cost per room, and the client will have a clearer idea as to whether or not they want to include this outdoor storage shed in the current project or not. Let's go back to the Calculations tab here, and let's just add one more module. Let's go back to Interior Decorating, and we'll add some internal painting. And this time we'll add this to the kitchen and create the module. And now we see that the kitchen location has 2 modules assigned to this location. So let's just give this some quick measurements. We'll go to the wall paint, area calculator, rooms tab, kitchen. We will add the walls area here by clicking the plus icon and save. Now let's go back to our reports tab. And we can see that the kitchen has both the floor finishes and internal painting shown on the quote. And if we enable stage pricing here in the right-hand sidebar, they can see the specific price breakdown between the stages, between the flooring and internal painting stages, as well as the subtotal for the kitchen. You can also show a detailed price quote here, which shows the breakdown between materials, labor, plant and tool, and other costs. And if you choose to, you can show an advanced structure to show a breakdown of the work descriptions, materials, labor, plant and tool, other costs, pricing, and units. In this case, let's stick with a simple structure. I'll remove some of those excess details, but we'll still show the client the stage totals, the room subtotals, and the grand total. And that's how to use the View by Rooms function. Thank you for using Price a Job.